up to 120, 135. Look at the speed increase. Out of turn number 5, headed for turn number 6. Speed increasing once again. Second gear.
And here's trouble, big trouble here in turn 5.
Oh, a car is upside down.
Bob, there are two cars. They came in here so fast, and one of them did hit the other one and did get upside down. Both of them hit very, very hard.
I believe that's J.D. McDuffie who is on his roof.
And one of the drivers is coming out of the car right now.
That's Jimmy Means. And now he's going to see if he can assist J.D. McDuffie in getting out of his car. McDuffie's car is on its roof, and Jimmy Means is calling for assistance. This is turn number 5, the one that has created so many problems here at Watkins Glen, not only in Winston Cup racing, but also in GTP competition. There's McDuffie.
There's a wheel. Where in the world did that wheel come from as JD plows in the wall, and evidently he has, and Jimmy Means goes into the wall while Means is in the air. Thank the Lord that he went in there while JD was up in the air.
It appeared as if that wheel had come off the car before he left the racetrack and went on to the grassy area there, but there is major damage to the wall, as you can see, and of course our major concern is the condition of J.D. McDuffie. The other car involved is Jimmy Means, and he is already out of his car. The ambulance on the scene now assisting what happened. J.D. McDuffie and Jimmy Means involved. This is McDuffie, the wheel already off the car, sliding off the track into the grass. He makes hard contact with that tire barrier in turn number 5. Then the car overturns. Meanwhile, Jimmy Means also slides into the tire barrier. His car stays upright, but Means, or rather McDuffie's car, is in an inverted state at the moment.
Thank goodness Jimmy Means is out here walking around. A little bit of a skin there on the chin. Everything else okay, Jimmy?
Yeah, Ned, I don't know what happened. You know, I've been looking. JD's been in my mirror the whole time, and you know, I was kind of watching him. He's running really good, and I don't know where I cut down on him or he come in there, lost his brakes or what, but next thing I knew, you know, hit me in the side. I hope he's all right. You know, he took a pretty bad leg there, so I'm fine, but I don't know about JD.
Well, you went right under him, it looked like, when his car was up in the air.
Yeah, I believe it did. You know, I don't know what happened. It just seemed like, you know, if you lose your brakes going down that straightaway, and nothing else to do, but I don't know if that's what happened or not.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and chatting with us, and hope everything else is okay.
Thank you, Neil.
Bob, I'm standing in J.D. McDuffie's pit, and as you see, most of the crew members who work on J.D.'s car week in and week out are not here. They have already left to go back to the garage area to check on J.D.'s condition. Now, they had radioed to J.D. a couple of times after the accident and had not heard back from him. That doesn't mean that J.D. is injured. Doesn't mean anything at all. As a matter of fact, you remember back at Talladega when they had the major pileup in May, the crew of Kyle Petty couldn't talk to Kyle because Kyle's radio had come unconnected, which is not uncommon with an impact on a racetrack, and they thought Kyle was more seriously injured than he was. And they were, of course, afraid. But the crew here unable to talk to JD, so they have left the pit area, headed back to the garage area to try to get more information. And we'll update you when we hear more from down here. Well, with further information on the status of J.D. McDuffie, here is Chip Williams, the Director of Public Relations for NASCAR. And Chip, what's the information?
Jerry and Bill, I regret to inform you that J.D. McDuffie has passed away. He's 53 years old. Of course, our hearts right now was his wife, Ima Jean, and his children, Jeff and Linda, and it's really a pretty sad day right now.
A terrible tragedy here at Watkins Glen. And of course, Chip, in the interest of safety, whenever there is a tragedy like that, you're always trying to find out possibly the cause of death to try to prevent this from happening in the future. Is there any information now as to what may have happened?
Well, right now, we don't know about the cause of death because of the autopsy is scheduled for in the morning. As far as what happened to the race car, it looks like the possibility of a wheel breaking loose. We're going to look into that. We're going to look at the race car and see what we can find out from there. Of course, we're not going to be able to do that until after the race.
A terrible tragedy here at Watkins Glen. And Chip Williams, thanks for coming out from NASCAR Control and giving us information. That was not what we wanted to hear, but unfortunately, that occurs in the sport of motorsports.
Bob, it is always difficult to report the death of any race driver. They know the dangers and the hazards, and they choose to race because they love it so very much. J.D. McDuffie was in his 653rd Winston Cup race. He had never won a Winston Cup event. But just last night, ironically enough, At Owego, New York, at Shangri-La Speedway, J.D. McDuffie was involved in a celebrity race. And J.D. McDuffie, driving the 07 car, believe it or not, took the checkered flag first and won that race just down the road from Watkins Glen International, where his career ended today. J.D. got out of the car with his son Jeff watching and received the applause and the congratulations of all of those in the grandstand. J.D. McDuffie leaves his wife Jean and 2 children, Jeff and Linda. And our sincere condolences to all of the McDuffie family from all of us here at ESPN.